What is up, guys? Player One Gaming here, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing predictions for all the conference title games that'll be happening this weekend, starting tomorrow when I'm recording this. It's Thursday, um, December 5th. There's your proof right there that I'm not lying and doing this after the game is over or whatever. Utah and Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game is the first game that will be happening on Friday night tomorrow. On ABC at 8 p.m. This game is this has the potential to be a really good game, especially since Utah is pretty much fighting for a playoff spot here. They need to win this game in order to get their spot. And if they don't win, either Georgia will or maybe Oklahoma or whoever's in 8th place maybe will get that spot as well. As crazy as that would be. But Utah, Oregon, Pac-12 championship. Utah, they're fighting for a spot in the playoffs. They've got a lot to play for. Oregon, they really don't have much to play for. Even if they win this game, they're not going to the playoffs. 11-2 Oregon team, who's ranked 13th, is not going to go to the playoffs. I'm sorry. They've already lost too many games. But I think this game has the potential to be really good. And for some reason, I don't feel like Utah's going to win this game. I feel like they're going to fall apart in this game. And Oregon's going to prove that they were pretty much better this entire time, and their last loss was probably a fluke. And then Oklahoma's going to get the spot. So I'm going with Oregon here, and I'm going to say I pretty much gave you the prediction for the Oklahoma game. So there you go. There's that. But I'll get to that in a second. Utah and Oregon. I got Oregon winning here. Utah is a 6-point favorite, but I got the underdog winning here. Speaking of which, Oklahoma, Baylor, in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Number 6, number 7. Oklahoma is number 6. Baylor is number 7. And this game, it also have some playoff implications. If Utah loses in the Pac-12 championship and Georgia loses in the SEC championship game, the winner of this game could get the playoff spot, which I would say either one of these teams would probably deserve it, because they'd only have one loss, and a 2-loss team can't be in the playoffs. That's why if Georgia were to lose, they'd be a 2-loss team. If Utah were to lose, they'd be a 2-loss team. If any of these teams were to lose, they'd be a 2-loss team. I got Oklahoma winning here. I'm not sure what the spread is. Oklahoma's favored by 9. Yeah, give me the 9 points. This is the game right here that has the potential to be a blowout. Ohio State, Wisconsin, Big Ten championship game. Ohio State is on another level. They're just crazy good this year. As a Michigan fan, I'm not happy about it. But they are. Can't deny it, that they're really good. These two teams have already played. They played earlier in the year. Ohio State won 38-7. So there's no reason to really believe that the same thing won't happen. Can Wisconsin catch Ohio State sleeping? I don't think so. Maybe, I guess, for a little bit. Maybe they'll make it close. What they need to do really is keep that Ohio State offense off the field as much as they can. Utilize Justin Fields. Waste the clock away by running the ball. Chew clock up. Make sure that offense is on the field the least amount as they can. They've got a great offensive line. My thinking of it is are they going to be able to do that? Ohio State's defense is ranked first nationally, or at least it's in the top 4. I know that for a fact. Really, they should be first nationally. I mean, they play lights out every week. I can't really think of an offense that could compete with them besides like LSU or something. But yeah, I don't think Wisconsin's going to be able to hold on for very long. If they are able to make it close, it won't last. It'll be like the last game. Ohio State will take control. in the second half and probably win by 20 or so. I don't know if it'll be a big a blowout as it was when they first played. But my idea is Ohio State probably wants to put this game away early and then put in their backups, which is crazy to think about against Wisconsin. But that might be what they want to do, so they can get out of there healthy and get ready for whoever they play in the playoffs. Which it could be anybody. It could be Georgia. It could be Utah. It could be Oklahoma, um, Oregon maybe, or not Oregon, Baylor. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, give me Ohio State winning here, big. The Sun Belt Championship game. This game has absolutely no implications on the playoffs whatsoever. One of them is Louisiana, who's not even ranked. The other one is Appalachian State, who's ranked 21st. Appalachian State could be fighting, I guess, for a New Year's Six. I don't think that they get one, even if they win this game. But they will finish ranked because I do have them winning this game. If they lose this game, they don't deserve to be ranked. I'm sorry. Not that I'm not. That's not like to rag on Louisiana, but they're not a great team. I mean, they're really good for the teams that they play. They're really good for the Sun Belt. But seriously, you could put one of the worst Big Ten teams or SEC teams, and they could compete easy in the Sun Belt. It's a garbage conference, and I don't know anybody who's a fan of any of the teams in it. And Appalachian State, really, in my opinion, is probably the only one who can compete with better conferences. Give me Appalachian State winning here. MAC championship game, Central Michigan versus Miami of Ohio. I've got Central Michigan winning here, mainly for the fact that when you look at their games, I really haven't paid attention to either one of these teams because who cares? But I look down at their schedule here. Miami of Ohio barely beat Akron. Akron was a team who went 0-12 this year, just awful. Got destroyed against Ball State. 41-27. Central Michigan actually beat Ball State by 1. And Boston College, what is it? Bowling Green, I'm sorry. Bowling Green. Both teams played Bowling Green. Miami of Ohio had a better game against them. I mean, not too much of a better game. Well, yeah, actually a lot better of a game. So I don't really know, actually. I don't know enough about these teams, really, to give a talk about them in the way that I would like, but I'm gonna go with Central Michigan here, I guess, because they're the favored team here. They're favored by 6, so I'll give them the 6 points. Conference USA Championship game, UAB FAU. Looks like FAU is a huge favorite here. Again, another team I have no idea anything about. But just based off the quarterbacks, you can tell which one is much better. 15 touchdowns and 13 interceptions for the UAB quarterback, and the FAU quarterback, 22 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Much better right there. 7-point favorite is FAU. More yards a game than UAB. More points. More, I guess, better wins, I guess you could say. It's really hard to say with these kinds of teams. I'll go with FAU because they are the favorite team here. Rematch here of the American Athletic Conference Championship game, AAC. Number 20 Cincinnati versus number 17 Memphis. Memphis is a heavy favorite here. They've already played once. Memphis, I believe, won 34-24. I believe. Yes, 34-24. Memphis won in the last game that these two played, which was actually the last game that they played. This is literally a rematch right after they just played. Not too long ago, the day after Thanksgiving. Memphis, I'm going to go with them winning here again. The only game that I think will be more one-sided than the Big Ten Championship game is this one, the ACC Championship game. Clemson, number 3, 12-0. Pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot if they win this game. I mean, they are guaranteed. They're 100% getting a playoff spot if they win this game. If they lose this game, they're out for sure. Clemson on a 27 game win streak, I think it is, versus Virginia, a team who's lost 3 games this year and ranked. But let's be honest, they can't compete with Clemson. Nobody in the ACC can compete with Clemson. No one's even close to what they can do. They're on another stratosphere, another planet, another universe. Clemson is. Every other ACC team is basically battling for second place all the time, a distant second place, because nobody can come close to Clemson. The only team that ever comes close to Clemson, it seems like, is Syracuse, and they didn't even, and they're terrible this year, so they didn't come anywhere close this year. I believe, 94% chance of Clemson winning here according to the matchup predictor, and I believe they are a 28-point favorite. Wow. So, yeah, I definitely see a route here. Virginia is not a bad team. Like, they're really not a bad team, by any means. They're just not Clemson. They're not even close to Clemson. They can't even compete. They could probably compete with, like, the mid-card Big Ten teams, SEC teams, stuff like that. They'd be able to have a good game with. Who could they have good games with? Like an Indiana or a Michigan State or an Iowa. That would be a good one. Iowa. 2 ranked teams there. That'd be a good game. But none of those teams ever don't even come close to Clemson and how good they are. Give me Clemson winning by probably more than 28. Another game that looks to be pretty one-sided, Boise State, number 19. It's really weird that they're number 19 and they're 11-1. Who have they even played, though? Like, they must have had a pretty garbage schedule to Boise State. Yeah, see, they don't play anybody that's ranked or anything like that. Yeah, they didn't play a single ranked team all season long. Wow. And they even lost one to a really bad BYU team. I don't know how you lose that game, but Boise State going up against probably somebody no different in the Mountain West, Hawaii. Give me Boise State winning here. Finally, probably the biggest game of the weekend, the SEC championship game, Georgia and LSU. LSU has just been dominant all year. They finally beat Alabama. Knocked them out of the playoff race. So I give them points. I like LSU just for that fact alone. That the fact that they knocked out Alabama out of the race for the playoffs. I already like them for that. Georgia, 4th ranked. Have one loss against South Carolina that really just was because of turnovers. They had a few turnovers in that game that really that was pretty much the reason, and a missed field goal at the very end, which lost them the game. But they can rectify it. They can, if they win this game here, they're pretty much guaranteed to go up a spot to number 3. LSU, if they win this game, honestly, I don't even know. Would they be knocked out of the playoffs? Georgia for sure would be knocked out if they lose here. But with LSU, it's really hard to say. Maybe they would, maybe they won't. It'd be very hard to say. I don't really need to think about it though, because I honestly don't think Georgia can win. I mean, with their defense, they'll be in every game, but with their offense, who's really struggled, um, which I don't know, maybe they can get something started on offense. The LSU's defense is just giving up too many yards a game. They're just giving up too many points. Um, Giving up a lot of points, really. But their offense has been just great this year. Been winning them games. Their defense has not been doing great, but they're definitely still because their defense isn't good doesn't mean that their offense isn't great, and just because of that, they're one of the best teams in college football. One of the best two or three teams, I would say. I'm not sure if they're better than Clemson. Honestly, I think Clemson's just been suffering from a bad schedule, and people really aren't paying attention to Clemson. Honestly, everybody's just talking about Ohio State, LSU. That's pretty much who they're talking about. Everyone's predicting Ohio State and LSU in the national championship game. I think it's going to be Ohio State, Clemson. Honestly, um, I think it'll be the first round of the playoffs. It will be not LSU, Ohio State at number 1. Number 4 will be Utah, or not Utah, Oklahoma. Ohio State will win that game. Number 2 will be LSU. Number 3 will be Clemson. Clemson will win that game. And then we'll see Ohio State and Clemson in the national title game. And I think Ohio State will win in the end. But yeah, I just basically get my prediction here for the playoffs. For this game, I got LSU winning. LSU's a 7-point favorite. I think that the only way Georgia wins this game is if they keep it low scoring. If they let too many points get scored, there's no way they come back with it from it. So they got to keep it close. And can they do that? I think they can with their defense, but we'll see what happens. So that's my predictions for all the playoff games, or not the playoff games, all the conference games. And I will be back with another video once all the Big Ten bowl games, or just all the bowl games are announced. And I will do predictions for the Big Ten and their bowl games. So stick around for that, and I'm actually really interested to, figure out who that's going to be. But I swear, if it's Florida, I don't want it to be Florida. I'm tired of playing them. Anyway, see you guys later.